Howdy! Happy Thanksgiving to all of y'all folks out there today. Got a big time day going on with some football. Got the Cowboys playing. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what they're going to do down in Big D because the Raiders are coming to town. And even though they should win that game, who knows what's going to happen? I got the Cowboys. I got the Lakers. I got Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. I got Molly Q in the house. I got Jeff Saturday with his big self on camera. Damian Woody is somewhere away. He's a little sick on Thanksgiving Day. My condolences to you, brother. I hope you get better because you know why I'm thinking about you right now. You see this beautiful turkey right here. You see those sweet potatoes right there. You see these veggies. You see this cranberry sauce, the stuff in the apple pie. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Capped off, potentially, by a loss from those Cowboys. Now, I don't want to wish something like that on people on Thanksgiving Day. But hey, what's a Thanksgiving without misery coming to the Cowboys? First takes in the house. You hear?
Where do we go from here?
I don't play well, the team doesn't play well. It sucks, but I tell you, we're a confident group.
There's no secret that we need to do a better job.
We went through last year for moments like this.
I gotta grab it, there's no time for stalling. Number one stunner, don't have other options.
And I've got no doubt that we're going to find a way to get back on track.
This is a resilient team that's going to continue to fight and get better, I can promise you that.
We know who we are.
I gotta go for the goal. I need to switch up the mode. I'm in a whole nother zone.
We're a confident group. There's no worries on what our future holds.
It is my favorite holiday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into First Take. Thank you so much for being with us, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Wishing you a blessed day. Lots of food, football, family, friends, all that good stuff. Hello, Stephen A. Smith.
Well, first of all, I know you love your family, but I also know you love that food. So good luck with that.
Never
Number
skip
one.
meals.
Number two, Jeff Saturday, I know you lost a few pounds in your day, but I know you're going to grub today. Number three, we all know that I'm Mr. GQ.
Yeah.
The exception is today. The reason why I got on this hoodie with the blazer is because the plan, Jeff Saturday, is to immediately depart from First Take and head over to the family to grub. I ain't gonna wear some nice outfit when I know I'm gonna be grubbing.
You needed something loose so you could let the stomach expand. You know, Jeff, I'm not even gonna give him a hard time because he was here late last night with the NBA and you showed up today.
Doing our thing.
Mr. No Days Off, so we appreciate it. And Jeff,
absolutely,
always good to have you with us. Fellas, let's get right into it. Today's Thanksgiving Day NFL slate kicks off with the Bears and Lions in Detroit with Andy Dalton starting in place of an injured Justin Fields. These two squads have the two longest active winless streaks in the league. The Bills and Saints will take the field in primetime with Buffalo looking to rebound after getting run over by the Colts' Jonathan Taylor last week. The Saints are 3-0 on Thanksgiving Day under Sean Payton. And after a loss to the Chiefs last week, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys hope to get their swagger back against the Raiders. Vegas is playing on Thanksgiving for the first time since 2013 when it lost to the Cowboys. Worth noting, left tackle Tyron Smith will return after an ankle injury kept him out of the loss to the Chiefs. And Coach Mike McCarthy optimistic that wide receiver CeeDee Lamb will play, but Lamb has to clear concussion protocol. After dropping two of their last three, in all seriousness, Stephen A., can Dallas afford to lose?
No, not to me. And understand what my thinking is with all of this. I'm not being impractical here. They win the NFC East, okay? The NFC least is what I like to call it. We understand that. They're going to the playoffs. I understand that. My measuring stick, Jeff Saturday, and I've got to make sure I hide this IFB and all of this other stuff right here. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a holiday. We're all chilling today. Everyone's at home relaxing.
Okay, here's the deal. When I look at the Cowboys, you just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? I'm looking at that. You got blitzed by the Denver Broncos. I'm looking at that. You lose to the Raiders as well on Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
I think the levels of vulnerability that the Dallas Cowboys expose themselves to are things that could come back to potentially bite them against some of the better teams. In other words, just figuring them out. Looking at them. We know about Dak. We know about Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. Gallup is back in the lineup. Amari Cooper eventually will be back, okay, because we know Jerry Jones got an attitude with him because he's on that COVID list, all right? CeeDee Lamb, we hope that he'll ultimately be okay, and we anticipate that he will. So the weapons are there, but the point is, when you look at their personnel, You got to take into account everything that comes with the Cowboys, the expectations, me accusing them of being allergic to prosperity, them finding themselves in a position where every single week there's something else that goes wrong. I'm just saying that as you watch this team, the more ammunition you provide for a more elite opponents to see things and find themselves exposed to certain things, I think the worse it is for them. So I think what you have to do if you're the Dallas Cowboys is do everything that you can, Jeff, to walk into the postseason providing as little evidence as possible to what those vulnerabilities may be, knowing that a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, potentially a Matthew Stafford or a Kyler Murray could expose them. That's where I'm coming from with it. I'm certainly not implying that they need to win their division or make the playoffs or anything like that. I'm just saying that the elite teams are watching every little thing that they do, and every little vulnerability that you expose is something they will potentially take advantage of. That's where I'm coming from with it.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You know, this is a get-right game for the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't mean that because of the opponent. I mean that for their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Like, they have gotten away from what they do exceptionally well and what makes them a tough out. When they had their 6-game winning streak, Stephen A., they led the league with 167 yards per game rushing the football. Hey, common sense sometimes ain't common. Why all of a sudden do you want to go play the Kansas City Chiefs and throw the ball dang near 50 times against a defense that you know you could have gotten physical with? So when you're thinking about the Dallas Cowboys, they are chasing the Arizona Cardinals. They could end up having a bye in week 1 and the playoffs going through Dallas because of who the Cardinals have to play in their own division. You said it, they're playing an NFC least. So don't give away these games. This is a get-right game for the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense kept them in a game against the Chiefs. They've played much better than expectations. They continue to prove that they are. Now you have Lawrence coming back. Hopefully you have Randy Gregory coming back soon. When those guys get healthy on the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, it's not about the talent. It's about the recipe for the Dallas Cowboys. That's being physical. That's imposing your will on defenses, then allowing Dak Prescott and all those receivers to make plays. Tight ends can make plays. Receivers can. And I know Amari Cooper's out for a couple weeks. But I'm talking about in general. Allow the play action and the passing game to become secondary to your run game. And again, these are problems they brought on themselves. And you're right. They got boat raced against Denver. So that was a bad day. But against Kansas City, this was a tight game that they don't score in because of their game plan. So as you're looking at it, when I think about get-right games, a lot of times it has to do with opponents. Today, for me, it's game plan by Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy. Get right by the way and the style that you're playing football.
You also got to pay attention to their schedule. And by that, I mean, listen, you've got a game against the Raiders today on your home turf, okay? Then you've got a road game at New Orleans, but Trevor Siemian is quarterbacking them. It ain't Drew Brees, it ain't even Jameis Winston, okay? Then you got to sit. And by the way, it takes? And by the way, just as an aside, something to think about before you speak again, Jeff Saturday. Why the hell is Taysom Hill getting all of this money? I just don't understand. I just don't see the value there. But hey, it's Thanksgiving, so God bless him. Okay. Then we've got a road game at Washington. We've got the New York Giants that's got some intrigue now because they're trying to find out what Daniel Jones is worth. So now Freddie Kitchens going to be running that offense with Daniel Jones instead of Jason Garrett, who was axed this week. And then you've got another game against Washington. Now, we surmise that if you look at the NFC least, the Dallas Cowboys could potentially lose one of those 3 games, 2 against Washington or 1 against the Giants. But they should be favored to win all 3. You've got New Orleans a 4th. You got the Raiders today, which is a 5th. The Dallas Cowboys could easily be 12-3, okay, because they're 7-3 now, or at the very worst, 11-4. And if they're worse than 11-4, that still creates more questions because there's really no excuse to lose more than one of these next 5 games based on your schedule and who the hell you're supposed to be.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Stephen A. Like when you think about this team and what they've shown to this point in the season, when it's self-inflicted wounds, that's the problem. And like you just said, man, the Saints with Trevor Siemian or you know, whoever's going to be, if it's Taysom Hill running their offense, however this thing's going to shake out in New Orleans, They have a very favorable schedule if they take care of the details. Here's my favorite part, though, about what the Cowboys have done. You heard Dak Prescott say this week, we're going to get back to the identity of being a physical football team. When your quarterback, when the dude that everybody's going to ride behind and everybody knows he can win games with his arm, he can win games with his legs, he's a tough son of a gun, like he is a true leader of your locker room. When he says, we got punched in the face and didn't respond, but we're about to lay out a response, that's the type of leadership you need from Dak Prescott. He ain't out there saying, I'm going to go throw 5 touchdowns and 1,000-yard receivers. No. We're about to get physical. We're going to play some ground and pound football. We're going to show you what we're about. I love that Dak Prescott was the guy that said it, because when your quarterback is preaching, everybody's saying amen, man. And I love it. I think it's going to show up big today and will continue through the season.
Absolutely. They did get punked in Kansas City, but dealing with a lot of injuries. They're favored by 7.5 today, and the Raiders have the 4th toughest remaining schedule. They need Ezekiel Elliott also to be healthy as well, because he's dealing with that knee. We'll keep it rolling here, fellas. We have a potential NFC matchup on Sunday. The Elbow to face Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The 7-3 Rams are looking to bounce back after a loss to the Niners. The 8-3 Packers also looking to rebound after a nail-biter versus the Vikings. The talk all this week has been about Aaron Rodgers' health. Rodgers, how is your toe?
Just so I could show you the lesions on my foot here, Rob. So if I have enough room on this camera, let me see if I can. Oh, there's no lesions whatsoever. Oh, what a surprise. Now, that's actually called disinformation, when you perpetuate false information about an individual. I have a fractured toe.
Okay, just what I want to see before I eat on Thanksgiving. A grown man's foot. In all seriousness, Jeff, your reaction to Rodgers doing that little show and tell, that TMI, how concerning, in all seriousness, is that toe injury?
I'm very concerned about it, Molly. And listen, I do love the fact that he's trolling people, and that is fun, that he sticks his foot up there and, blows up Twitter and every other world because of that. But this is serious. Listen, this was part of the reason why I retired and why a number of guys in the NFL end up retiring. I had rigid toe on my big toe on my left foot. And people don't understand the amount of pain that these things really bring on. Like, this isn't like a dull kind of deal with it pain, which players deal with from week 1, through week 18. This is like that sharp pain, Molly. Like when it runs up your spine and takes you to your knees type pain,
chills,
when it gets stepped on or hit or rolled up. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so everybody's felt that pain, like where all your hair is standing up because it hurts so bad. When everybody in the NFL knows that, and you're playing in Green Bay with all the elements, and you have an offensive line that has lost Bakhtiari, who's hopefully going to come back soon, and now Jenkins for the season, the pressure internally, they're going to be moving him off his spot, making him move, making him get off his spot, roll out, take tackles, take hits. All of those things are concerning to me, because he is a fantastic quarterback, injured or not. I'm not worried about his arm strength. But I'm telling you, man, it's snowy, it's cold, the grass is wet, and somebody stepping on your toe with 7 studs. It ain't no joke, man. And you got a fracture that can get worse. So I am concerned. I know they'll protect him, but it is a concerning injury for me.
Oh, please. Concern. I'm going to say the same thing to you that I said to Swagoo yesterday. I don't want to hear about a damn toe from Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers, Molly Wood is right. I don't want to see the toe either. It's Thanksgiving,
oh, don't worry. I have another toe for you coming up.
We're about to eat. But I don't want to hear about a toe. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disputing anything that you said. That damn thing hurts. I understand it. I've had toe injuries before. It definitely hurts. Yeah. And in cold weather, yes, it's even worse. I mean, anything that touches you in cold weather hurts a hell of a lot more than in normal conditions or hot weather. But the bottom line is, as long as that arm is working, and as long as that man fling that football, I could care less. I don't want to hear it.
Stephen A., a lot of the arm power comes from the lower body.
Excuse me, not the damn toe.
And he told everybody it's his toe, so now people are going to be going after his foot.
Did you see that? Did you see that touchdown he threw to Scantling?
Yeah, he's special.
I'm just saying. Yeah. You saw him throw that football, right? That's all I'm trying to say.
Talented and
gifted. He can throw the football. He can throw the football. That's all that matters to me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disputing the fact that he has the toe injury and that it hurts. All I'm trying to say is when it comes to a quarterback flinging the damn football with his arm via his shoulder, his elbow, his fingers, his thumb. I don't want to hear about no damn toe. No, I'm not interested.
Wait, Jeff, before you jump in here, I understand that we have some footage. We have some footage of your toe. I know you were describing your foot to us earlier.
What?
Is that true, producers? Do we have? Okay. Oh, wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Aren't your toes supposed to go straight? That is him on Get Up. Wait, time out. Before I even get into your feet, you need to do some yoga. How tight are those hammies? You can't even get like the foot straight. That was a real struggle bus right there by you.
I can't knock him for that.
Oh my goodness!
I did a yoga scene on when I hosted Jimmy Kimmel Live. That is hard. That's a hard position to sit
I mean,
in.
that was a real struggle to get the leg up.
Molly, let me just tell you, if you think that was a struggle when I was playing, I couldn't even come close to that. That's like the most flexible I've ever been in my life. And you saw the strain as I'm getting up there to show you my rigid toe that has to be cut on and surgically repaired. But hey, that hammy and that back will lock up on me, Molly. It ain't going much further than that.
Oh my goodness.
We're exposing toes.
Okay, we're done. We're over it. I'm moving on.
Let's keep moving
Jeff,
on.
who has the edge, Jeff? Who has the edge, Rodgers or the Rams defense? Because this is going to be a good one Sunday.
I'm saying Rams defense, Molly. Listen, when you think about the injury, but let's magnify this bigger than just Aaron Rodgers. Elton Jenkins, who went down with a torn ACL, they lost for the season. David Bakhtiari, their star left tackle, who hasn't come back from his ACL last year, being injured in the playoffs. This is a big deal, and you have young players internally for the Packers, center, guard. So there's a lot of communication that goes in. Jenkins was a Pro Bowl left guard who had bounced out to tackle, who was playing lights out, and they were going to kick him back inside to really solidify that pocket. So when I think about the Rams defense and what they're going to try to do, pressure up the middle is going to be key for them, which we know Aaron Donald's as good as anybody in the NFL at creating that pressure. Floyd on the outside, they can kick him inside. This, to me, lends towards the Rams defense having the advantage.
That might be the most ridiculous take I've ever heard you give on this show. You got to be kidding me. The Rams defense has an edge over Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers offense. You might have had me, not at hello, but you might have had me, Jeff Saturday, if you said, you know what, Stephen A. Aaron Jones ain't going to be back, so you only got Dylan in the backfield. I might have listened to that. But when I'm thinking about Aaron Rodgers, and I'm thinking about Scantlin, and I'm thinking about Devontae Adams and the rest of the crew, why the hell would I be concerned about a Rams defense that has given up 59 points over the last 2 games, okay? They got shellacked twice. Tennessee, they got shellacked by San Francisco. They gave up 37 and got blitzed by Arizona a few weeks earlier than that. We know Aaron Donald is that stud. We know Jalen Ramsey is that stud. The arrival of Von Miller is expected to be a plus and an upgrade as opposed to a minus or subtraction. I get all that. This is Aaron Rodgers you're talking about. This is Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man, Jeff Saturday. And when you take that into account with the weapons that he has available to him against a team that Sean McVay is trying to figure out, how the hell can I get how can I get over these last 2 weeks? We just haven't represented ourselves very well. We're not the same team. We're not living up to our expectations. We got to clean that up. Excuse me, Aaron Rodgers is the one that you're going to do it against? I don't think so. I'm sorry. And oh, by the way, this is at Lambeau Field. You know this better than me, Jeff, when you're accustomed to playing in the Southern California sunshine. And now you got to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, the frozen tundra. Didn't you just finish just minutes ago talking about that cold weather and how it affects people? Well, guess what?
Yes, sir.
It don't affect anybody more than it affects our brothers from Southern California playing. I always think about the AFC Championship game from the 80s between the Chargers led by Dan Fouts, Air Coryell, Dan Fouts, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow Sr. You remember them, bro? Chuck Muncie and the crew, even though I'm not sure Chuck Muncie was on that particular team. Remember all of that just Saturday? And they had a high-powered offense. They were lethal, Air Coryell. And they went to Cincinnati. And those temperatures changed everything. You, of all people, should know that. Please. Stop it.
I got something for you. Stephen A.
What?
I got something for you.
What?
I love and I agree with you on traveling and the cold. I agree with all those things. However, you look at Aaron Rodgers when he's protected and they're like third in pass rush success rate on offensive line. He's in the top of the NFL. When he is not protected, he's 29th in the NFL, my friend. So let me help you. And just like all the great ones, you put pressure on him, and he becomes a normal quarterback. And that's exactly what the Rams defensive front and why I'm telling you they have the advantage, because when they pressure him, he goes to 29th, not number 3. And he is a bad man. But we saw Patrick Mahomes got humbled. Let him know.
Last word
Let him
here,
know, Stephen A. I'm letting you know.
Hold on.
Offensive line matters.
Hold on, Jeff Saturday. Do I have to bring up how successful Aaron Rodgers is against the blitz? How it's a nightmare to blitz this brother? I mean, let's bring that up. Yeah. Number one. Excuse me.
They ain't got to blitz him.
I understand that. But my point is, excuse me, when you're talking about pressure, even if they don't blitz him, I'm questioning the level of pressure they're going to be able to bring. If you couldn't rattle, listen, if you could, who did they play against? I mean, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, of course, and we're talking about Kirk Cousins, all right? If Kirk Cousins could find a way, I mean, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of the Rams. I'm sorry, Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ryan Tannehill. I'm talking about Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I'm confident Aaron Rodgers will figure it out.
All right. Let's leave it there. The Packers have never lost back-to-back games, but Jeff is right. Games are won where, Jeff? In the trenches. Let's keep going, fellas. We got another one happening. Yes, sir. George McCaskey addressed the players Wednesday and told them Coach Matt Nagy would not be fired after Thursday's game in Detroit. Sources told ESPN on Wednesday. This message came after a tumultuous week when Nagy's job status came under extreme scrutiny after a report Tuesday on Pats.com that claimed the Bears had already informed Nagy that Thanksgiving game versus the Lions would be his last, regardless of the outcome. Nagy was quick to dismiss that report. Jeff, I'll start with you. Should Matt Nagy be fired if the Bears lose to the winless Lions today?
Absolutely not. Molly, what are you gaining by firing Matt Nagy at this point in the season? Is the potential new head coach of the Chicago Bears on your staff? Probably not. In all honesty, the general manager probably won't be there if they end up firing Matt Nagy. So when you look at this, it's not going to be a significant benefit to fire a guy midway through the season unless you have a plan in place that someone on your staff is going to be the guy or be the interim guy that you may want to hire. I just don't see that on their staff. As you're looking at this with Justin Fields, he's not even playing. So you have Andy Dalton who's going to play. Justin Fields, we don't know how long he's going to be out. So what are you really gaining by firing Matt Nagy, bringing somebody else in? And let me say this from the Matt Nagy perspective. When as an organization, when you're trying to build even past the coach that's in place now, you want to build a foundation of trust in your locker room, right? So if you're a Chicago Bears player, you're concerned because when coaches get fired, players get fired. And they understand that. Absolutely. And they understand that all the other coaches in the building right now are probably making calls to every other head coach potentially trying to find a new job next year. The amount of distraction that goes on when coaches have this kind of scrutiny, and people talk about firing them right now, it would be almost impossible throughout the rest of the season to improve. At least if you're the Bears, wins don't really even matter to me, Molly. In all honesty, if I can get Justin Fields back on the field and increasing his ability and his effectiveness throughout the rest of the season, we actually draft higher. Even though we don't have a first-round pick, it will help us long-term because we'll have better players in the second and third. I just want to get Fields back, playing well, being protected.
Reps,
I'm not overly concerned about my coaching staff, but I don't want a ton of distraction that now I'm worried about my offensive line not paying attention and Justin Fields back there getting smoked. I just think holding the line, staying with Matt Nagy and pace throughout the season, then making decision is the best thing to do for the Bears organization.
What the hell has happened to you? What is wrong with you today, Jeff Saturday? Have you eaten Thanksgiving dinner for breakfast and are you so stuffed that your brain is just fogged? I mean, what is going on with you? I mean, listen, you ever heard of addition by subtraction? Nagy has proven to be awful. Awful. The team doesn't. He's clearly lost the team. The organization doesn't have much faith in him. They just all of that is pomp and circumstance. They know this brother needs to go. The city of Chicago, they're damn near ready to petition the Bears to fire him. He has no support whatsoever. He was an offensive coordinator. Now, granted, he wasn't responsible for passing on Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes to pick up Mitchell Trubisky. I understand that. But it was still on his watch in terms of the level of progress that has been absent all of these years. This was an offensive coordinator for 1 year in Kansas City, and somehow, some way, he hoodwinked himself into getting a head coaching job, which has me looking at management. And you're talking about, well, if he goes, Ryan Pace would probably go too. Well, who the hell said they should stay? They both should go. They both are awful. And when you look at Matt Nagy, and see, I came here to be in a good mood because it's Thanksgiving, and I was trying to be in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to be cruel. I ain't trying to sit up there and get people fired. But my God, I can't sit here. I can't sit Ali by and watch you on national television talking this nonsense. Listen, they've got the 29th ranked offense. They got the worst passing attack in football, okay? We understand that their defense has been real and legit for years, and you've thrown them by the wayside because you can't figure out a damn thing. How many games have you lost straight? You lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. And if you lose on Thanksgiving Day to a winless Detroit Lions team, and by the way, I think there needs to be a petition to the NFL. Why the hell is the Detroit Lions on national television on Thanksgiving? What have they done to deserve it? They've been garbage too.
Can I say one thing about the Lions when we're talking about coaches? Dan Campbell has done a nice job with this team. They're losing games closely to tough teams. They are. Yes. They're playing tough. Jeff, you know I am right. So we got to give them props on that. And I do think the Lions will get their first win today.
Molly, you cannot say stuff like that and then think that you're going to get away with it without me commenting. Let's be very clear. We are in a result-oriented business. Yeah. Okay? I'm not knocking Dan Campbell. I'm not saying the man should be fired. I'm not saying that he doesn't have them playing tough football. I get all of that. But damn, he's 0-8-1. So let's not sit up there and raise our hand, applaud. Listen to me. Let's not sit up there applauding. He's winless in week 10. Stop it. The bottom line is this. The bottom line is Dan Campbell, give him a chance. Give Dan Campbell a chance, Jeff, Saturday. But if you're Matt Nagy and you lose, you're the Chicago Bears, and you come into Detroit, and you lose, I don't give a damn if I was quarterbacking. You lose to the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day, a winless Detroit Lions team, who, by the way, this is the third time they showed up on Thanksgiving winless. The NFL, something wrong with y'all for putting them on Thanksgiving. This is the third time they're winless on Thanksgiving. I want to hear it. Nagy better win this damn game. And if it were me, not only would he be fired, he'd be fired before he got out the locker room. He'd pay his own way back to Chicago. I ain't playing. Please.
Jeff, you get the last word here.
In the locker room.
This is too much on a holiday. Go ahead, Jeff.
I got two things. One, Molly, I appreciate the effort. I know that was for your man who's going to rock with them Lions all the way, and I appreciate the love you're trying to put out there. But two, who are you going to replace Nagy with, Stephen A? You have to run the organization throughout the rest of the season. Who are you? Like, you just going to pick a dude, run in here? And by the way, you have your draft pick who you're trying to develop. You're going to get rid of an offensive-minded guy and sit him down.
I didn't say that.
I understand at the end of the year you'll have a chance to evaluate, but at this point, you don't put a man on the bus because you want to hold this thing together for the team. It ain't about the coaching staff. It's about the team. So now everybody's going.
You want me to come back?
Anyone that's not distracted?
You don't want me to come back? You don't want me to answer that gibberish you disseminate to the man? You disseminate to the masses? Is Bill Lazor not the offensive coordinator of this team? Is Bill Lazor not the offensive coordinator of this team? Yes or no?
He's calling the plays.
Okay, he's calling the plays.
He's calling plays.
All right,
he's calling plays.
Listen, did the Raiders, albeit for far more serious and different reasons, The Raiders had to get rid of their coach in midseason, and when they brought on the special teams the coach to take over, he won 2 in a row before they wet the bed, but he did win the first 2 games. What I'm trying to say to you is that it is plausible. It's not beyond the realm of comprehension that somebody on your staff can move in for your inept self and take over and have the team looking a little bit different than you and a little bit better than you, since you got them looking like straight trash anyway. What's the problem? What's the problem?
Let's go to break. I thought you were going to be
Listen,
nice today.
you're the best guy. You're the best guy. Fire somebody with no replacement in mind. You can't run no business like that, man. You know better than that, Stephen A.
B? Get your plan. It's just like his Stephen A's list. They're really Stephen
Exactly.
B, C, D, and F. All right, let's go. Coming
Thank
up,
you.
LeBron James. He's back, y'all. He had a wild return to the court last night, which included ejecting some fans. Stephen A breaks it down. Plus, we've got NFL games all day long. Find out which team Stephen A thinks should never be on national TV. Will your team make his list? Find out next.
Time for another one of your favorite segments, Stephen's A-List. And on this particular day, because it is the spirit of giving, right? I'm going to give the network television some clues about who the hell does not need to be on national television. I just think it's necessary. Okay? People are home with family and friends. We want family. We want football. We want a good time. Okay? And these are the teams that have a potential of ruining that for all of us. Pay attention. Number 5 on the list. Give it to me right here, please. Give it to me. Bam! The Jacksonville Jaguars. Do I really need to explain this? Why? Why? Maybe a couple of years from now, they'll be worthy. Because Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback there. Maybe a couple of years, they'll be worthy if Urban Meyer is still there, because we know what a phenomenal coach he has been on a collegiate level, and he's won everywhere he's gone. But the NFL is a different animal. The reality of the situation is the Jaguars went to the AFC Championship game a few years back. They've been irrelevant ever since. And some of the best players they ran out of there. Should have got rid of Tom Coughlin a little bit earlier than you did. The bottom line is the Jaguars are pretty close to irrelevant at this particular moment in time. They have no place on national television. Let's go to number 4 on the list, please. Give it to me. Give it to me right now. The Atlanta Falcons. Now, why would I say the Atlanta Falcons? It ain't just their record, y'all. It ain't just the ATL. Here's the reality of the situation. You had a 28-3 lead in a Super Bowl in the 3rd quarter, and it was arguably the most epic collapse in the history of Super Bowls. And what have they done since? They have nosedived. Time and time again, even when they had Julio Jones, with a Calvin Ridley, with Matt Ryan as their quarterback, they still couldn't get it done. Coach got fired. Okay, Dan Quinn, he's the defense coordinator in Dallas right now, right? Oh, they so special now. You got Julio Jones, he's now a Tennessee Titan, okay? You drafted this kid Pitts out of Florida, who's going to be a stud, but sometimes when you can't get over maladies that come your way, you ultimately collapse. You can't recover. And wholesale changes need to take place. The Falcons need to do that. And until that time, they don't need to be on national television. Let's go to number 3 on the list, please. Give it to me. Sorry, Molly. Sorry. It's necessary.
What?
Somebody's got to say it. The New York Giants, the only reason they're relevant is because they play and represent the media capital of the world, which actually isn't true because they're in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The local media in New York covers them, but they don't practice in New York City, they don't play in New York City, and they damn sure don't win in New York City. Since 2011, when they've won the Super Bowl, the New York Giants have made the playoffs once. Okay? And they lost in that wild card game. This is a team that has been home repeatedly year after year after year when Eli Manning was their quarterback, and now that Daniel Jones is their quarterback. The New York Giants got to get it together. Saquon Barkley is a stud when healthy, but his durability is a question mark. So we really don't have anything to watch when it comes to the New York Giants, okay? And you let go of Odell Beckham Jr. years ago, okay? Because your culture.
Let me know when I can talk. Keep
you
going.
cannot talk about this, Molly, because you have no objectivity about this, Molly. You just have to sit there and eat it while I'm in front of this food, because the bottom line is the Giants don't belong on television, but not as bad as these next dudes don't belong on television. Give me number 2 on the list, please. Give it to me. Do I really need to argue about this?
All right.
New York suffers. New York has been through a level of misery that will require visits from Dr. Phil, okay? Miss Cleo. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I don't know whether you need a psychic, a psychologist, a therapist. You need all three. The bottom line is the New York Jets have been god-awful. Robert Salah, I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he turns it around, but in the end, we all know how god-awful the New York Jets have been, okay? New York is actually praying for the holiday season to come and go so we could be done watching these two teams. That's how bad it has been. But the Giants, as bad as they are, ain't nothing worse than the New York Jets except for one team. One team that has absolutely, positively no business on national television. This one right here, give it to me. The Detroit Lions. Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason, contractually or whatever, the Detroit Lions not only are on national television every Thanksgiving, they're the first game on national television every Thanksgiving. So what the NFL is saying is, we want to mess up your Thanksgiving before it even starts by forcing you to watch these people. Because what have the Detroit Lions done? This is the third Thanksgiving that the Detroit Lions have walked into the Thanksgiving Day game winless. They don't win. They haven't won a playoff game since 1991. Barry Sanders was playing for them the last time they won a playoff game. Matthew Stafford had to escape to L.A., okay, just for people to remember to appreciate his greatness as a quarterback. The Detroit Lions, if any organization has a true black cat running around that franchise, it's the Lions. They have no business on national television. It's a damn shame we've got to watch them on national television. But the NFL is making us because the NFL is king. And we all know football games are on. Folks are going to watch, even the Lions. Tell me what other day of the year the Lions are going to have a national audience interested in watching them. There is no other day. It's ridiculous.
Jeff, what do you think of this list?
Hey, listen, this is the best list he's ever had, except for the Falcons. Like how you put the Atlanta Falcons up there with those other teams and you don't put the Houston Texans? Like, I mean, how you going to put, at least Matt Ryan provides some kind of excitement. There's some kind of points being scored. And Houston, it's ugly. It has been ugly since the Deshaun Watson. So I'm all for the list minus the Falcons. And you coming at my hometown, I don't respect that. You putting me on blast, Stephen A. It's supposed to be Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be friendly, family and friends. Don't be attacking my hometown, bro. Well, I'm still pulling for them Falcons. They're putting it together. Arthur Smith's working slow and steady. But how you not put the Texans on there and you put the Falcons on there? Come on, man.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, the Texans with the whole Deshaun Watson scenario just evolved this year. Deshaun Watson was playing for them last year. It's this year that all of this has happened with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, we're not just talking about the season. I'm talking about in recent memory, some of the things that we have seen from respective teams. When I look at the Falcons, I'm just looking at a team that hasn't really even resembled anything close to themselves since that epic collapse. It's like they need to go in hibernation and just remember how to play football consistently before they allow back on national television.
Excuse me, Stephen A. Not only have you offended Jeff, you have also offended me because this is betrayal to the city of New York, to Queens, New York, where you grew up. Like Jeff said, you could have picked the Texans. They're 3-7. The Bears are 3-7.
We're not talking about
Seattle's 3-7. But you picked the New York Giants. I told you this yesterday. Alicia Keys, Frank Sinatra, Jay-Z. They wrote songs about New York, not Pittsburgh, not Green Bay, about New York. This is your city. How are you going to put the Giants on there? We're the heritage franchise.
First of all,
box office.
First of all, let me speak. When I mentioned the Jaguars, I mentioned how they were in the AFC Championship game years ago, but then they folded. When I mentioned the Lions, I brought in years of ineptitude. When I mentioned the Jets and the Giants, yes, I'm from Queens, New York, okay? Excuse me, they play in East Rutherford, New Jersey. They practice in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The only thing New York about both teams is the media covering them. That's it, okay? We still got to go through, whether it's the George Washington Bridge, the Lincoln Tunnel, or the Holland Tunnel, we still got to go through tunnels to get to the Giants
Okay.
and Jets games and practices. Okay?
You know what? I get the last word
that's
here.
The bottom
I get
line.
the last word here.
That's the bottom
when
line.
they're called the New Jersey Giants, then you can say that. We will leave it there.
I don't know why they ain't called the New Jersey Giants. That's what I'm saying.
Please roll the
Might as well
bumps.
be.
Let's
you.
move on from this subject. Jeff and I very offended by you.
Whatever.
We are all
He agreed with me.
thankful for football. No, he didn't. He
Yes,
was
he
mad
did.
about Atlanta.
He
A
agreed with
weak
me. Everything except
quarterback
Atlanta.
must deliver a huge Turkey Day performance. Plus, Nick Saban calling some of his own fans entitled. Does Stephen A. agree? Stick around for that more today. Stephen A. Smith is going to give us his top 5 list of what he's most thankful for. Don't miss that. Plus, NFL games all Turkey Day. Yeah, that's great, but is it better than an NBA Christmas? This debate will get heated. Keep it locked. But first, star quarterback Dak Prescott and Josh Allen coming to Thanksgiving Day a little off their games. In the last 3 weeks, both their teams are 1-2, and they both have QBRs under the average of 50 during that span. Josh Allen, in particular, has turned it over 6 times since Week 9, tied with Derek Carr for the most in the league. Jeff set. I'll start with you, Stephen A. Who needs the bigger Thanksgiving performance? Is it Dak or Josh Allen?
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
There's no doubt about that. Josh Allen, what is he, 25 years old? Let me look this up real quick. Is he 25 years old? I believe he's 25 years old. Now, it's 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, completing 65% of his passes. It doesn't matter right now. It's unacceptable. And here's the reason why. They're 6-4. Guess what? That's unacceptable. You know why it's unacceptable? Because this team was in the AFC Championship game last year, and for the first time in this millennium, we were talking about the Buffalo Bills as the team to beat in the AFC East and arguably the AFC. And here we are in Week 10, and your behind ain't even in first place. The New England Patriots, with a rookie quarterback, Josh Allen, is ahead of y'all. Now, granted, a lot of it is because of their defense, a defense that really didn't show up to work last year because a lot of them didn't want to stay home because of COVID. So about 8 or 9 dudes didn't show up, and a lot of them are back, and we get all of that. We got that, okay? And Bill Belichick is still there, the genius himself, and we get that too. You got Ramondre Stevenson, rookie running back, looks very impressive. Damian Harris looks good. They got a nice running attack, but you still got a rookie quarterback. And Josh Allen missed the 6 years, $258 million. You in second place. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. I don't give a damn what anybody says. You can't let something like that happen to you. And to lose 3 weeks ago, by only scoring 6 points against Jacksonville, that was bad enough and embarrassing enough in and of itself. But then to turn around and to get blitzed on your own home turf against the Indianapolis Colts, inexcusable. So as far as I'm concerned, Josh Allen's got his bag. You in second place. Dak Prescott gonna win the division. He going to the playoffs. We don't know what's gonna happen to the Bills right now. You're damn right it's a bigger Thanksgiving obligation for Josh Allen than it is for Dak Prescott.
Jeff?
I agree with him. It's bigger for Josh Allen than it is for Dak Prescott. But some of the things that you're saying about why Dak Prescott's sitting where he is because he is in the NFC least. That is not afforded to Josh Allen playing in the AFC East with the Patriots and the way that Bill Belichick has these guys playing. But I'm going to say this about Josh Allen. Who really should be under indictment on this Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills football team is Brian Daboll, their offensive coordinator. And listen, we talk about all the time, is too much being put on Dak Prescott. Yeah, last week it was because they should have run the football against Kansas City instead of trying to throw it. Well, you're seeing that week in and week out with the game plans being instituted for Josh Allen. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Like, he has to run it all the time. He's got to throw it all the time. If you're a defense, it's one of the easiest game plans in NFL. You know they are one-dimensional. They want Josh Allen to drop back, look for a big pass, pull it down, and go run it. They're going to run it, either in the low teens or in the single digits, which is absolutely absurd. And to place this all on Josh Allen, I think is a disservice. Listen, I gave Brian Daboll a ton of credit the last couple years. They were creative. They were winning. They were putting up a bunch of points. This year, not at all. And the Jacksonville Jaguar game, is the greatest example of all of them. You're playing against a below average competitive team, and instead of trying to run the football, you have a banged up offensive line, and you drop back and you let the other Josh Allen from the Jacksonville Jaguars just tee off, and you offer basically no answer to that question. I have a big problem with that. So as I look at Josh Allen, he does need to have a big week because he's having to overcome what is being put out and afforded to him from a game plan perspective week in and week out. And Stephen A., we talk about this all the time, man. When you start evaluating quarterbacks and what they can and cannot do, it is unfair to act like this is all on Josh Allen. They have a good defense. They actually have a good running back in Singletary and Moss, but they don't ever even give them a chance, and they expose their offensive line week after week. I'm telling you, when I look at it, it's absurd. And to think that this is Josh Allen's fault, that is not a fact. I'm just telling you, I'm telling you it is not him. It is much more at the offensive coordinator than Josh Allen.
Well, let me tell you why I disagree with you. I recognize your point. They only ran the football like 14 times against Jacksonville. They ran the football just 13 times against Indy. They were down 24-7 at the half, and obviously they felt the need to, throw the football, etc. I get your point about the game plan, and I understand where you're coming from. But as it pertains to the specificity of the question that was being asked, who needs a bigger Thanksgiving, I'm saying your point that you're making even makes it that more paramount that Allen has a bigger game. Because what I'm saying to you is based off of what you're talking about in terms of the position that the offensive coordinator puts him in. Basically, the offensive coordinator has said this, Jeff Saturday. We giving this brother $258 million. It's his team. Let him do everything. Now, that's not fair. And I get where you're coming from because that's not going to help you be successful as a football franchise. I get that too. But it doesn't negate the reality that is the onus that has been placed on the shoulders of a Josh Allen, and as a result, unfortunately, unfairly, but realistically, you got to step up and handle it. To whom much is given, much is required. I didn't say it was fair. I didn't say it was right. I didn't say it was the right thing to do, Jeff Saturday. But it is what it is. And he got to find out. He got to find a way to get around it. Whether it's influencing the offensive coordinator to do what he wants him to do. Or what you said, Jeff, he should do. It's going to be up to Josh Allen to make that happen.
All right, let's leave it right there. Jeff, we're going to get in a quick break. Allen has the second shortest odds to win MVP after Tom Brady. We'll keep it rolling here, fellas, because still to come, Stephen A. is going to tell us
their butt off to be the best that they can be. And to get criticized for what they work hard for to do so that you can be entertained. So that you can enjoy and have pride and passion for what they accomplish and what they do. And they're not perfect. They're just college students. They go to school every day. They got to study. They have to run extra after practice when they miss study hall. I mean, come on, give me a break. This is not professional football. These guys aren't getting paid to play here. They're representing you all. You should be proud and happy to support them and appreciate what they do and have some gratitude. And you know what else? Nobody wants to win worse than they do. Not me, not you. I don't care what kind of fan you are. Nobody wants to win more than the players that play. Nobody.
Get it, Nick. Stephen A., your boy, getting me fired up. Your thoughts on what Saban just said?
Maybe I'll come to regret it because maybe one day I'll say the wrong thing or ask the wrong question and he might go off on me for all I know. But I got to tell you, I love that, man. I love me some Nick Saban, man. And one of the greatest honors I've ever had, Jeff, was when he asked me to come and speak to the football team. Not once, but twice. And anytime he calls, I'll come. I love this man. I cannot believe that Nick Saban has to explain what he explained to a fan base in Alabama because he's absolutely 1,000% right. He arrived at Alabama. What the hell were they doing? They were irrelevant. Nobody cared. They would still talk about Bear Bryant, okay, who had retired decades earlier, okay, because they ain't had nobody like that since. Since Nick Saban has arrived, Jeff Saturday, Nick Saban is 180 and 24 in 15 years. He hasn't even averaged 2 losses a season in 15 years at Alabama. In 15 years at Alabama, he's won 6 national titles. This man is phenomenal. He's approaching 70 years of age. If he's not there already, I don't think he's there yet. But he's approaching 70 years of age and religiously has one of the top, if not the top recruiting class in the nation. Every year, he's right up there. And oh, by the way, you know what the greatest compliment to his greatness is? The Kirby Smarts of the world and the Jimbo Fishers of the world and, you know, and Lane Kiffins of the world and others. Up until this season, he never lost to an assistant coach. I mean, it's just greatness sprinkled everywhere. And for him to have to explain how unappreciative fans in Alabama are, fans of the Crimson Tide are, is the real crime. Because I'm here to tell you something right now. Listen, I've been in this business, and I'm always work because I work. That's who I am. That's the man my mama raised me to be.
Your DNA.
But I gotta tell you, if I thought about taking a day off, when I sat down with Nick Saban one-on-one, he and I talking privately, that inspired me even more, Jeff Saturday, because he went like this. He said, when you win, he said, what do? Yeah. You keep going. Because the second you stop, you get caught. And then you dip, you slide. And rising up again may not be possible. You keep going. That's what he preaches. And show me a corporation, show me a team, show me an organization, show me somebody who is about winning that doesn't believe that. Nick Saban is phenomenal. Just phenomenal. And if I had a son and he wanted to play football at college, I'd want him to play for Nick Saban.
That's why him and Bill Belichick are so tight. Jeff, before you jump in here, I just have to say one thing. For perspective, I root for a football team. Ask me their record, Stephen A. 1-10, the Yukon Huskies. That's my football team. Jeff, carry on.
Congratulations with that.
Hey, listen, my daughter Savannah goes to Alabama. She's a freshman this year. And I got my first experience with Alabama fans going down to the games this year. And he is 100% right. It's not good enough to just win. It's like your fans look at you in the style in which you win. It's crazy to me. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this team has been so good for so long. And to Stephen A's point, you talk about the ways that you measure men, right? Whether it's in the tough times, but successful times are even more important because when you see them succeeding, can they keep that? How do they keep that? How do they continue to grow in success instead of getting instead of feeling themselves and just kind of hanging around? I love that about Nick Saban. And to your point, what he's saying to the fans is so true. People think about these college athletes as professional athletes. They are not. They are going back to study. They are going back to take tests. There are other stressors in their life that they are thinking about other than just football. When I tell guys all the time, when you get to the NFL, you have so much more time to be around family and friends and all those things because of the expectations in college of being a student athlete, and it goes in that order. You got to be the student before you can be the athlete. I so appreciate Nick Saban and what he said and the way that he said it, because you saw how impassioned he was about what he was saying. And when he looked at everybody and said, they want to win more than I want to win and you want to win, man, he is preaching. It is so true. Guys give everything they have. They give up their free time. They give up holidays. They give up Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, you name it. Like, think about all the holidays that happen in the fall. They don't do holidays in football. It is all about how are we getting better as a football team to reach the peak of what we want to get to. I applaud college athletes and what they're doing, football players. Man, what Nick Saban said, I loved it. He was absolutely preaching. I appreciate somebody with his stature saying it because it means that much more.
And, Jeff, the last point that I want to make is this. You know the other thing that he didn't say that he easily could have said as to why they should support these players? It's because of who they're playing for, Who would not hesitate to hold a player accountable more than Nick Saban?
Yeah.
You're going to put in that work. You're going to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's
That's
going to
right.
be about we and not about me. Playing for Nick Saban,
Yep.
he's going to emphasize those things. And the whole world knows he's that kind of guy, which should give even more. And it should make us support the players
Yep.
even more because we know they're playing for a man we trust will hold them
For
accountable.
sure. Let me move it forward.
He's the man.
Jeff, I want to start with you. What
That's
are
right.
the most entitled fan bases in all of sports?
Oh, so I was thinking the Eagles, but the Eagles haven't had enough success,
Okay.
you know, for me to put them. I'm going to say the New England Patriots from the NFL. And listen, when it came
Boston
down to the whole
fans.
Brady and Belichick thing, to me, yeah, I mean, listen, it was like, why are you trying to divide the greatest NFL run in history? Like, it took both of these guys and how quickly they turned on their organization when the Patriots didn't play well and Brady wins the Super Bowl, and it's like, oh yeah, Belichick's washed up. He can't. I mean, it was insanity to me, and I think it's because they have forgotten how lucky they are to be as successful as they have been, man. It does not happen. The way they kept that thing together, Robert Kraft deserves credit, Belichick deserves credit, Tom Brady deserves credit, the defensive players that never get mentioned that I think should potentially be in the Hall of Fame, you know, they don't get the credit. I absolutely love how these football teams have put it together, and at times I feel like those Patriot fans, man, they just take it all for granted. And again, they're looking for style points, man. All you care about is getting them W's, and they get plenty of them.
I'm dismissing your drivel right there off the bat on national television. You just saying that because you're a former Indianapolis coach. I ain't buying that. We all know who the hell the most entitled fan base is. We all know who it is, okay? It's the Cowboys fans. There's no fan base more entitled than them. They walk around here acting like they won the Super Bowl every damn year. No matter how much they stink, no matter how mediocre they have been, no matter the mountain of evidence that has been laid before us where we're talking about how they've come up short. We're America's team. The star on the helmet, the cheerleaders, the star at midfield, the back pages. Oh, we all got to talk about them because they're like cockroaches. They just find a way to be relevant even when their football team is not. They walk around there sticking out their chest like they so damn perfect and special. The Dallas Cowboy fans are the most entitled fan base in American history. American history. They could go 1-15. Their season could end at 7 p.m. on January 3rd, and by 7:15 that evening, 15 minutes later, you know we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? We're going to win the Super Bowl next year. This is who they are. Old, young, black, white, Latina, Asian, yeah, Hispanic. It don't matter. It's who they are, which is why they always fall, which is why I root for them to fall. And by the way, I'll throw the Laker fan base in there as well. Now, they have reasons to feel entitled because they got 17 chips to point to. But they are Laker fans. I mean, they're a little entitled, but I love them. I love Laker fans. I despise Cowboy fans. I love Laker fans.
We're aware.
Okay, because they give us relevancy for the most part.
Yeah.
They give us relevancy.
All right.
The Cowboys lie about it.
We'll leave it there. I'm going to throw in Notre Dame and Duke, but let's
Notre Dame's in there too.
Let's
Not
go to
Duke.
break here, guys.
Duke's
I'm
worthy.
going Notre Dame
Duke's worthy.
and
Coach
Duke.
K. Duke's worthy.
The Rams are headed to Lambeau, but who has the edge? Is it that bad man or that impressive Rams defense? We get into that. Plus, it's one of the best days of the year. We get Thanksgiving football all day. But is it better than NBA Christmas Day? Stephen A. and Jeff are going in on this one.
Why
Our
are
first
guys
segment.
always eating drumsticks? I like the wingette part and the tip. Why they always eat the drumsticks?
Yeah, because you're a little different.
You know what I'm saying?
Everyone likes the
They always eat
drumstick.
the drumstick.
We've been waiting.
Lambeau to take on that other bad man. The Rams are looking to get back on track after losing 2 straight, including a lopsided loss to the 49ers on Monday Night Football. The Packers are hoping Aaron Rodgers isn't too hampered by that toe injury, which Rodgers gave us an update on yesterday.
Just so I could show you the lesions on my foot here, Rob. So if I have enough room on this camera, let me see if I can. Oh, there's no lesions whatsoever. Oh, what a surprise. No, that's actually called disinformation when you perpetuate false information about an individual. I have a fractured toe.
All right, Jeff Saturday, who has the edge? Is it Aaron Rodgers or that Rams defense?
The Rams defense. And listen, I understand that the toe injury, and I have concern about the toe injury, but it's much bigger than that. When you look at Elton Jenkins, who just went down with a torn ACL, David Bakhtiari, the star left tackle from the Packers, who got hurt last season and hasn't been able to play yet this season when he's coming back. This offensive line is banged up, and they have young starters on the right side and at center, so they have a lot of things to overcome. And here's the difference between Aaron Rodgers when protected and when out. When he is protected, he's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. When he's not protected, he's ranked 29th in QBR. So if you can get pressure with your front 4, which I think the Rams defensive front is betting on with Von Miller and Aaron Donald and Floyd and, continue Joseph Day. And I mean, they have guys who can press the pocket. It makes it difficult. Now add on the injury to Aaron's toe and him having to manipulate the pocket or break, contain, and get outside. The thing with that toe is you never know when it's going to bite you. And if it bites you at the wrong time and takes you out for a series or maybe 2, that's a big deal for this Green Bay Packers. That's why I'm getting a slight edge to that defensive front from the Rams.
Well, you can do that all you want to. I'm looking at the Rams having give up 59 points to Ryan Tannehill and Jimmy Garoppolo in the last 2 weeks. I'm not sold. Aaron Donald, I'm sold on him. Jalen Ramsey, I'm sold on him. Von Miller remains to be seen, but I have faith in that Super Bowl champion who was once a sack master. But the reality of the situation is I'm looking at the Rams defense right now. They're ranked 15th overall, and they're ranked 16th against the pass. Now, that is not god-awful, but it does show some vulnerability somewhere. When we look at them this year, they got shellacked by giving up 37 points to the Arizona Cardinals. There have been instances where they have shown they can be had. And you can take that in consideration. And then you combine that with the fact that they got to take their comfortable Southern California lifestyle to Lambeau Field in the frozen tundra. I don't know what the weather conditions are going to be, but I imagine they ain't going to be that. They ain't going to be something close to that. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. And I'm going to say the edge is Rodgers and that offense because, again, he's got 2 of his weapons back there. You got Scantling. He's got Adams. You still got Randall Cobb there. Dillon is no slouch out of the backfield, even though Aaron Jones is not expected to be back for another week or 2. I like Green Bay's chances. I expect them to handle their business in this game. I know there's a level of urgency to the Rams. I know that the Rams, having lost 2 straight and appear to be nosediving, have to step up and handle their business. I just don't think this is the game they do that, particularly with Green Bay coming off a loss to the Minnesota Vikings. I think that losing 2 in a row and that second game coming at the frozen tundra, Lambeau Field, against a team that's accustomed to playing in Southern California sunshine, I don't like their chances, not a little bit.
It's a huge game for the Rams. I will agree with you on that, Stephen A. When you think about where the Rams are, and you even heard Tom Brady talk about it after their win on Monday night. He talked about, hey, listen, like losing in the NFL is brutal, and it is. And when Stafford, who's brought over to kind of be, the Super Bowl, the kind of the key piece to winning a Super Bowl, and he hasn't played well the last 2 games that they've lost. But here's the deal, Stephen A. They got boat raced against the 49ers, but that was a run game deal. They lined up and just hit him in the mouth. I don't think Green Bay can do that because of the loss of the 2 offensive linemen. Because I would fully agree with you. If I felt like it was Aaron Jones who was coming at you and then Dillon coming at you after that, behind that offensive line with Bakhtiari and Jenkins in it, I would fully agree. I think with the loss of those 2 guys, coupled with that injury of Aaron Rodgers, I just think it's tough to overcome it. The Rams, listen, this is desperate because they're in a much better division than Green Bay. So they are playing not only with 2 losses, but they have to chase the Cardinals as well. This is a big game for this football team. And Sean McVay understands how important this thing is. It's almost a must win for these guys.
For sure. Rodgers, third lowest completion percentage under duress, and the Rams obviously lead the NFL in pressure rate. Interesting matchup. We'll see. Can't wait for it, guys. Let's get into quick takes. Some basketball. One, Stephen A. Last night, Kevin Durant passed Allen Iverson on the all-time scoring list. Stephen A., where do you put KD amongst the all-time greatest scorers?
He's a top 5 scorer in the history of basketball, in my estimation. He could easily go down as top 2 before all is said and done. He's just spectacular, and credit to him for doing what he's doing without the services of Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. Steph Curry with the shot, outdueled his brother last night, putting up 25 in a win versus the Sixers. What did you make of the battle of the Currys last evening?
Well, Seth Curry is somebody that's really, really impressing me. He's coming along. His little brother is getting better and better. He's not Steph. But at the end of the day, Seth Curry belongs in this league. He's showing it every day. And major props to the Currys, because anybody with that last name, you're expected to know how to shoot, and they live up to that name.
They're winners for sure. The Suns beat the Cavs for their 14th straight win, Stephen A. They play your Knicks tomorrow. Can the Knicks end the Suns' win streak?
I doubt that they will, because of the leadership and greatness of Chris Paul and Devin Booker as well, and Monty Williams, again, who's a marvelous coach. They have won 14 straight. The Phoenix Suns are the second best team in basketball right now.
Stephen A., get hyped. Did you see it yesterday? My UConn Huskies took down number 19 Auburn in double OT yesterday. Sanogo, he's a bad man. Polly from 3, clutch. Dan Hurley has these boys ready. It is basketball season. We're going to hang another banner. How do you feel about it?
Well, I need to see them against somebody other than Auburn, but the bottom line is I'm a fan of Dan Hurley. I think he can coach, and I like the energy that he's brought to that program. I think that UConn is only going to get better, but I want to see what they do today against Michigan State, too.
Absolutely. You just said it. The semifinals in Bahamas. Michigan State, Max Christie getting set to face my UConn Huskies. Can't wait for this right after us here on ESPN. To the NFL we go. We got a big NFC matchup Sunday when the Rams head to Lambeau to take on that other bad man, the Rams.
4 is this wonderful woman right here. Put it up there. First Take is a special show. They say Stephen A is First Take. Correction. It's Stephen A with the matriarch of the show. This person I couldn't do this show without and don't ever want to do the show without. The one and only Molly Q. Love you, girl.
Thank
it's number 1 on the list.
Thank
Things
you.
I'm thankful for.
Thank
just
you,
want
thank
everybody
you, thank
to know
you,
that.
thank you. And let me just say this,
Thank you.
Jeff, we'll let you jump in here. That means so much. But I am so grateful to have a job that I come to every day, and we have so much fun.
Yeah.
We work hard, but we have so much fun. And there was also a period in time when I couldn't work full time. I'm so great to be healthy here full time. And let me just say one more thing. It is no secret, right, Jeff, that Stephen A wields a lot of power around here. And I realize a lot of people could be sitting in that chair. And I'm so grateful that you choose to rock with me through the ups and downs all these years. So
Always.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Always.
I feel very blessed. You got anything to add, Jeff?
Listen, I absolutely love it because you know Stephen A is a train wreck when it comes to lists. But he finally gets one right, Molly. He finally gets one right to put you at number 1 for him. Love watching you guys each and every day. I love the relationship you have. You guys make TV much better each and every day. So love you.
Macaroni and cheese. Look. I'm eating macaroni and cheese today. Do not listen to Matt Judon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say this about Matt Judon. He's an exceptional football player.
For sure.
He's a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball for the New England Patriots. He's leading them in sacks. I respect the brother and all this stuff. This is just the subject about mac and cheese. This is not a subject about his overall character. It's not a subject about his football ability or anything like that. But black men, we need to have a conversation with him. I don't know who the hell he think he is. You don't go on national television and tell people something that's blasphemous as that. You don't do that. Listen, we don't want the breadcrumbs. We could do without the breadcrumbs on top of the mac and cheese. To my sisters, the fam, excuse me, they know to have my mac and cheese ready. Oh, hell yes. We gonna have some mac and cheese. I'll be eating mac and cheese in about 2 hours.
Yes,
I'll be eating mac and cheese in about 2 hours. Let me tell you, I don't even understand how he could say something like that. And then if you don't like it, Obviously, you're odd. You're an aberration. You're abnormal. We get all of that. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm speaking on behalf of 99% of the black populace in this nation. We love some mac and cheese. And we don't know what the hell is wrong with Matt Judon. We love some mac and cheese. Where the hell do you get off going in front of a podium, understanding the message is going to disseminate to millions upon millions of people, saying that if you want to enjoy your meal, don't make mac and cheese. Grandmas everywhere in the black community would slap that man upside his head. That grandma would say, "Come here, boy." Bow!
Oh my God.
You understand? Because you don't do it. Grandma,
Listen,
I'm not calling him a boy.
no.
Grandma will call him a boy. You don't do that.
Jeff, I know you co-sign. You're from the South.
Listen, here's the crazy part. Man, my whole family loves mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter. You have it at just about every meal. Any big meal always has mac and cheese. I do not like mac and cheese.
Oh,
I do not. I don't understand that everybody else loves it. It's I mean, multiple people are bringing it. My kids, Molly, for their birthdays would have me drive them to specific restaurants specifically for mac and cheese. I'm like, man, y'all have lost your. I mean, I get it. I can have it occasionally, but like, I mean, and look, and listen, Stephen A. It ain't black and white on this one. I've met very few people who don't love mac and cheese, but I am one of those people, man. Like, I ain't trying to get down with it.
At least you admit
I'll take some greens.
At least you
I'll
admit
take
you're
some
weird.
mashed potatoes. I'll take any of that over the mac and cheese.
At least you admit you're weird. Okay,
We're
that's not a
going
con.
to move
You're
on.
weird. Okay,
We're going to move on. I don't discriminate. I eat every style there is.
Listen, the palate, when it comes into your mouth, it just melts
Oh my
in
goodness.
your mouth.
Okay, I'm starving.
Are you
I skipped
kidding me?
breakfast.
Listen, I'll forgive you because you're a little bit weird. But Matt Judon is on a different level. What's wrong with this brother? What is wrong with him? I'm telling y'all right now. You approach black people. He got to turn in his black card.
Okay.
I'm saying it.